Right, I think we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know, as always, with these live streams, if you can hear me and you can see me okay. Hopefully you can. And welcome to an epic unboxing. We're going to be here for the next 11 hours as we unbox all of these games. I don't know how long it's going to be. Vicky's gone shopping. As soon as she gets back from shopping, we're going to the gym. I've got between now and then to get all of these unboxed. So what is Hybrid Disordered Cosmos? Well, we're going to find out. But you can see here, this is everything. So this is a game that was on Kickstarter a few years ago. It was all done before pre-pandemic. And then obviously with the pandemic and everything else and all of the shipping crisis, it's been a long time coming. But we've got the base game here. We have 4 expansion boxes, which, as you can see, are equally as big. We have Love and Hate. We have Divine Betrayal. And we have Cataclysm. And then we've got this one in a white box, because this is not intended that you keep this. This is just a single character expansion for that. I'm not quite sure why it's in a big box, but we'll find out. So, for those people who probably don't know this, because most people have probably not heard of this game, but Damien from Aurora Game Studio contacted me, I don't know when it was now, 3 years, 4 years ago, and asked me to work on the rulebook for this game. And I did a lot of work on this game and the rulebook for this one and this one. I don't think I did this one. I can't remember. I got to the point where I just ran out of steam and time. And I know there was one of them that I didn't quite do, but I've done a lot of stuff on this. So if the rules are not clear, you can blame me. It's my fault. Anyway, let's jump in. And if you've got any question, Damien is actually in the chat. 3 years. Wow. So I'm going to move them to one side for now. And we're going to, first of all, have a look at the base game. Now, my knowledge of this game is not 100% perfect, because it was a long time ago when I actually worked on the project. But I'll try and let you know. It mixes, it's kind of a hybrid themed game between Greek gods and the Greek pantheon and kind of technology, which I think has been done in games before. Where's my remote control? There you go. It's been done in other games before. But yeah, so that's the next one. So you can see from the front cover, yeah, you've got technological stuff, you've got flying vehicles, and you've got monorails and fancy buildings, but it's kind of about the Greek gods. Anyway, we're going to open it up, we're going to have a look, we're going to see what we get in there. Always very nice to see. All of the backers' names are on the inside of the box. So yeah, that's quite a cool thing. I like it when publishers do this. We have the rulebook, which, as I say, if there's any problems with it, it's my fault. Now, first thing about the rulebook that I've noticed is this is kind of thick. So yeah, it's a thin card, or thick paper. Yeah, it's thin card, front cover. Normal paper for this, although it's nice. And then we got a thick back cover as well. So yeah, so I spent a lot of time working on the rubber. Oh, no title on the template. Yeah, there is no title on the template. Apologies for that. I've forgotten to put it on. I can fix it now. Let's fix it now. Template. Name of the game. I need to change the name of the game because it currently says something else. So let's put Hybris Disordered Cosmos. And if I press this button here, it should appear. Ta-da! Right, we're back. Thank you very much, Chrissy, for spotting that. Anyway, rulebook, can put that to one side. We also have the art of Hybris Disordered Cosmos, for those people who like that sort of thing. I've not seen this before, so if there's any errors in any of the text in this, that's not me. I'm having nothing to do with that, because yeah, I've not seen this book before. But yeah, interesting. So there's the 2019 prototype. Evolution of the material. You can look through the different versions of the game. It's quite nice to see how it all came about. So anyway, that's that. Right, what have we got here? We have player boards. So player boards for each of the 4 players. And some people have been trying to tell me that this is an asymmetric game. And I've not played it yet, okay? So I'll be playing it for the first time this Friday, which will be live on the channel. If you're interested, I will be doing a playthrough this Friday. I believe that each of the different gods that you play has asymmetric powers, but everybody's following the same rules of the game. So I don't think it's like an asymmetric game in the way that Root is an asymmetric game, in that you're all sort of doing different rules. but each one plays very differently. We've got some modular player boards. We've got the enhancement tiles, which we'll have a look at in a minute. They go on the player boards. We can zoom in a little bit, can't we? We have some standees with all of the, not the gods. I can't remember what these are called. We'll find out. I think these are technology tiles. Yeah, I think these are technology tiles. More technology tiles. Right, we have some game trays insert. Heroes and profits. That's it, heroes. So game trays inserts, presumably one for each of the players. We will look at putting stuff in them in a minute. We've also got some plastic stands in one of them, and we've got some coloured wooden discs in the other one. Right, what else have we got? We've got the game board. We'll get that out in a minute. We've got some other modular playboards, and it looks like this tray is designed to specifically put things in a specific way. Yeah, that just fits there. That just fits there. Right, so you've got to remember the order in which these go back. So we've got some more player boards. We have some player aids, I believe, to store the game. Yes. Yeah, so help booklets. Then we've got all of this stuff. So we've got some miniatures, and I'm going to switch to the other camera if I've turned it on. I have turned it on. So we're just going to have a look at the miniatures. In fact, let's zoom in a little bit more. Oh, wrong button. That was the fast zoom. Is it going to focus? Is it going to focus? Yes, there we go. So the miniatures are quite big, as you can see, if we compare it to the size of my thumb. I don't know what scale they are, but they're probably maybe 60mm, something like that, which they will look good painted. So these are the actual gods. Yeah, the detail on these is really good. Yeah, contrast paints are going to pull that out quickly. 36mm, right, okay. This is my favourite one. Check out this guy. Come on, camera. There you go. Yeah, that looks pretty fantastic as a miniature. So anyway, right. So yeah, we got 4 gods. And what else have we got? We got another game tray here. Oh, we got another one under here as well. The little game trays under here. We got some silver cubes. Hopefully they won't chip off like the Terraforming Mars ones do. Got some blue crystals. We got some quests. We'll have a look at them in a minute. We got some meeples with tabards on. And we have some cards. So this is just the base box. Let's get out the game board, because I remember this looking quite pretty. Yeah, the miniatures are 2 thumbs up in size. So there's the game board. Really, really nice artwork on the game board. And as you can see, we have worker placement spots. There's the proper board. So yeah, I actually quite like the art style in this game. I know art is a very subjective thing, and I'm not saying this for any other reason other than, yeah, I quite like the art style in this game. But yeah, this is the main board. So this is where you're going to be putting these technologies. I think they're technologies. You'll be putting them on there, and there's links on them, and you can link them together, and you can link to the different cities here, from what I remember. These are the worker placement spots, I think, where you go and you do certain things. There's the well here where you put prayers. That's the main game board anyway, except you have all of these other game boards. Now, I think you don't use all of these. I think it depends on which modules you're playing with. Let's just have a look. We don't want the art book. That's not going to be any use to us whatsoever. So let's have a look at the setup instructions. Maybe we do use all of them. Yeah, so this is the mortal world, okay? This is where you're going to be going down to, and you're going to be influencing the people and things like this. Number 2 is Olympus. Now, I don't have Olympus. That means Olympus must be in here. Right, okay. Let's open this out. See what we've got. Some things to punch out. All right, so this is Olympus. So this is an extra player board, not a player board, an extra main board. That goes there. That's going to have the piles of technologies on, and that's where you go to convert followers and design new technologies and things like that. Over here, which is board number 3, which is the Colosseum, which is this is the Colosseum. So the Colosseum sits there. Does it sit there? Yeah, Colosseum sits there like that. And this is where there's going to be heroes. So there's going to be 5 heroes here, and you can go there and you can train heroes, and you basically get them and they become yours. Over here, so there's a worker placement aspect to this game. That piece goes in there like that. What's this one? This is the Underworld. I can't quite remember how the Underworld works, but I think that when heroes die, they go to the Underworld and you can resurrect them, something like that. Up here we have the Forge, which goes there. This is where you will take technologies from here and you will put them in the workshop, and they will go through the workshop, and then they'll go into the factory, and once they come out of the factory, that's when you can deploy them to the board. Over here, can't remember what this board's called, but this is where the premonition cards go from memory. This is the Oracle. That's it. So there's some premonition cards which come out and go on there, and then finally down at the bottom does take up a lot of space. Finally down at the bottom you've got the Morai, which is where the quests are. So there'll be quests down here that you can do. Anyway, so that is the game set up, except for player boards. Now we're playing this on Friday, and we're playing it 4-player. I don't know how we're going to fit this on this table. But here's the player boards. Let's just zoom in again on this. Let's open this up. Yeah, also, Damien, how long do you think it's going to take us? 4 players on Friday, not having played the game before. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Anyway, these are the 4 player boards for the 4 different gods that you can play, and these are dual layered. Don't know if you can see the fact that they're dual layered here. So we have Zeus, we have Hades, we have Poseidon, and we have Athena. So let's say we're going to play Poseidon. So you've got your player board, which will go in front of you. And then the enhancement tiles that we saw earlier on, 3.5 hours. Okay, yeah, knowing us, it'll take longer. So we might have to start a little earlier. Because I will have to be teaching them, or I'll try and teach them beforehand. So this is Hades, this is Zeus, this is Poseidon, this is Athena. So these are the enhancements. And we're going to be playing Poseidon. So what you do is you take out these enhancements, and I believe they start off this side up. So during the setup of the game, you will take your enhancements, and they go in certain places. I can't remember how you're supposed to work out where each one goes. Damien's probably shouting at the screen telling me that I'm doing them in the wrong place. So once you've done them, you flip them over, and maybe you have to look at the other side to work out where they go. Yeah, I think that's what you need to do. So that one's going to go there, that one's going to go there. So they'll be like that. Where's that one going to go? It wouldn't be upside down, would it? Ah, that one goes there. That's that one. That one goes there. That one goes there. And that one goes there. Right, anyway, so they are your enhancement tiles. Is it going to fit? Yes, it fits. So that's what starts. That's how it starts. Now, each player will have some pieces. Where are the player pieces? Is it these cubes? Cubes and heroes and all sorts of other things. Yeah, got some nice glass cubes. Let's just go through the player setup. So place your Olympians board in front of you. So you're an Olympian, that's it. 6 enhancement tiles for your Olympian, and place them with the appropriate positions with the image side face down. So you've got spark cubes and 3 temples. So these are I think these are the spark cubes. Do they go in the bottom? No, they go on here. That's it. You unlock them from here, and you move them down to the bottom of your board. So your spark cubes start off on these spaces like so. And now we need to find the temples. Where are temples? They are the wooden pieces that we saw earlier on. Right, so these are the wooden pieces we saw earlier. Here we go. So these are the temples. So they are silk screen printed on one side. Temples will go there, like so. And you also get your heroes. So going back to the punch board, if we look, we can see that we have 3 heroes. Now, I don't know if Poseidon is purple. It probably isn't. These are color coded, and I've just grabbed purple randomly, and I probably shouldn't have done that. So I don't know. So place your Olympian miniature and your remaining prophet and hero standees in your reserve next to your player board. Yeah, I think if you're playing Poseidon, it should be blue. Yeah, blue is Poseidon. Thought so. So let's just change that up. Let's get the spark cubes back on here. How many people watching this have got the game or got the game coming? How many of you have never heard of it? It did fly a bit under the radar, I think. Right, so we have heroes and we have prophets, and this is where the standees. So heroes will go in standees, and they will go on the appropriate spaces. So you will unlock them as the game goes on. So you don't start off with any of these, but you can unlock them. In fact, they are named, they go on specific places. So this is going to be tricky to do on the on a live stream because things are in different places. Things on the overhead camera, it's not going to look great. Now I've got this one, Triton. Maybe Triton is one that we start with. Place your Olympian miniature and your remaining yeah, okay, so some of them actually go in your reserve next to your board. So some of them you actually start with. Prophet's going to go on there, and another prophet's going to go on there. So they're going to have to go in that way. Okay, and the temples. Yeah, definitely going to have to go in sideways, these. I think that's it. Is that it? Yep, I think that's it. I think that's the player board done. Yeah, Triton is the start one. So if you're playing Poseidon, you start the game with Triton as your hero and 1 prophet. And as I say, you can unlock the other ones as the game goes on. Right, what else do you have as a player? You've got various things to track certain things in the game. So over on the right-hand side of the game, you've got the virtue track. And you actually start off there on the virtue track. Over this side, you have, I think it's the domination track. Is it the domination track? Determination track, that's it. And that starts off where the little arrow is. Don't start off with any spark cubes down at the bottom. What else do you start with? And then you'll have your miniature, and you've got some extra discs and some other stuff as well. So yeah, each player is going to have their player board, which looks like this. But you're also going to need space for cards and stuff around your player board. And you'll notice that there's a slot here, a card will go in here, and other stuff goes to the left and right of your player board. So we're having a look at some components. We've seen some of the components in the game. Other things, we haven't seen these. So let's punch these out. Be careful when you're punching these out. The nubs on them are quite pronounced. So yeah, be careful with those. Let's have a look at some of the cards. Let's have a look at some of the cards and let's zoom in a little bit. So, cards. First of all, the quest cards. These are these big cards here. Now, 3 of these will be visible at the start of the game. And you can go on quests. And then when you go on quests, I think you do them in stages, and they've basically got requirements, things that you need to do. And then you need to progress to the next stage. Yeah, and you'll get bonuses for going on quests. I think this is something like the reward as well. So yeah, there's quite a few different quests in the game. Some of them are more difficult than others, but nice artwork on them. Iconography is a little bit small. I think people might struggle to see this iconography a little bit. Yeah, quite a few of those. What else have we got in this pile? We have, oh yeah, loads. And we have these red ones. It's a different type of quest. I can't quite remember exactly how these work. But yeah, it's a different type of quest with the red background. I will be reading through the rules before Friday, don't worry. We also have these. I remember working on these. These took months to work on. But you've got these player reference cards. So for the classic mode, each round is divided into these phases with a summary of everything that you do on them. And then there is duel mode as well, which is a different way to play the game. You've also got specific player aids for each of the individual Olympians with a description of their enhancements, because what you get when you unlock that enhancement and you flip it over, you don't want to keep having to flip them over during the game. So you want this so you know what's on the other side. And certain Olympians will rely on the enhancements more than others. And when you play the game, you'll unlock the ones that you want to unlock. What have we got here? More modules. So Rebirth is a special scenario. So these are scenario cards which change the rules of the game and get you to play it in a different way. And then duel mode uses these extra cards here. So yeah, some big cards. What else have we got? We've got some little cards. Right, so the little cards in the game, first of all, it is asymmetric in another way, because as well as the Olympians having their own special powers, each of them has their own unique deck of cards. So this is the deck of cards for Hades, and you will play these cards in combat, I believe, and I can't exactly remember what all these things do, but determination cost. So you have a certain amount of determination, which you can use in combat, and it's basically how many cards you can play each combat. Certain ones cost that doesn't cost any determination, for example. And they all have an effect on them, but if you chain things together, so you can't, that doesn't work. That's a sword on the left and a spell on the right. So what you want to do is you want to chain that one with that one. And if you do that, if you link up those two icons, then you get an extra one. So what you're going to be doing in combat is you're going to be playing a sequence of cards from left to right. But yeah, so unique decks for the different players with that. And then we have... Now, I can't remember what these cards are called. There's loads of cards in this game. These are the premonition cards. So the premonition cards, I think, will go on the premonition board. Are these seeded in some way? I vaguely remember that these were being seeded. No, maybe not. So the premonition cards, they're revealed, I think, at the start of the round, and then something happens at the end of the round. I can't quite remember how those work. These are the divine pillar cards. So the first phase of each round is that all players will choose a divine pillar card. This is very much like Mage Knight. And that will give them a special ability, and the number on it will determine their initiative, which is like their turn order. So yeah, I think these are selected in the current turn order because you have a greatness track, but then it's the number on them which determines the actual order of play, from what I remember. We've also got some primordial cards. So primordials, I think these are seeded. Yes, these are seeded. So you have the alphas, then the betas, then the gammas. And then Kronos, I think, is at the end. But basically, there's a primordial, and you can fight the primordial. Yeah, there's lots of fighting in this game. Right, I think that's it for a look at the components, pretty much. Other than we've got these blue crystals, standard blue crystals, look nice, and silver cubes. And I've not really told you much about the game, because a lot of it is still unknown to me. From what I remember, there is a worker placement aspect to the game, but what you do is you use certain tokens, and maybe it is these tokens. No, it's these tokens. That's it. There's these tokens that you have here, and you probably can't see this, but yeah, tokens with locations on. And I think what you have to do is, in the second phase of the game, let me just check this in the rules. Yeah, the planning phase. You secretly select one of your location tokens and put it under each of your available hero and profits. And that determines the location that that character can visit in the action phase. So yeah, you do have to plan ahead. Your Olympian can go anywhere, I think. But for your heroes and your profits, you have to take these location tokens and you have to put them underneath the thing. And then when it's your turn, you reveal it and that's where it goes. There's definitely a planning element there. And you are limited, I believe, to how many of these that you've got and you can use. So yeah, there's a planning phase. Then there's the action phase where you're going to be placing your characters out to the different locations and doing the different actions. And all of the different actions do different things that we kind of mentioned earlier on. You know, one of them is these, excuse me, is these technologies. But there's a lot of stuff going on. It's going to take me a while to relearn how to play this game. But that's my plan for probably Thursday night, maybe Friday morning. So anyway, that is... Cthulhu Wars and Trickerion is a good summary. Is it? Okay, interesting. Anyway, we're going to move this to one side now. And then we're going to get out the first expansion. So I'm going to make a complete mess, probably. And I don't want to get things mixed up too much. So let's half put it away. Oh, I just noticed some leader cards. Oh no, they're the heroes of the yeah, the heroes there that you can go and recruit. That's it. Right, pop them in there, pop them in there. Move all of this to one side. It's supposed to be TV night tonight, but I think actually it's going to take me most of the night to put this away properly. Although I can do it in front of TV. Yeah, let's do that. Right, base game is unboxed, mostly. Move that to one side. Right. So next, it says, okay, not completely put away. There we go. Are we now put away? Almost. Right. So yeah, the first expansion that I'm going to unbox is this one. And I think this is just one extra character. So I'm not sure why this is in the same size box as something else. Damien might be able to answer that. So yeah, I don't know what is inside this, but if it is, I mean, it says 1 miniature, 6 standees, 6 enhancement tiles, a player board, 18 mini combat cards, 1 large card, typo, should be card, 30 tokens, 2 player markers, 10 spark cubes, 3 temples. We'll find out. Oh, same size because of the player board. Right. Yeah, the player board is pretty big. But yeah, it's in a cheapish box because it's not, you're not designed to keep this box. This is just an expansion character. There we go. So, and that's protecting that. So let's have a look at this fella. This is Apollo. Right, so there is Apollo, if Apollo is going to focus. Yep, there he is. So Apollo is there, playing his musical instrument. So yeah, loads and loads of detail on these miniatures. Really, really good job. I assume the sculptors of these were French, because French miniature sculptors tend to be, the best ones tend to be French. From the little that I know about miniature sculpting and stuff. Right, what happens if I press this button on my controller? Is it going to work? Yeah. There we go. So we're zoomed in a bit. Right, so this is Apollo. And these are Apollo's abilities. So I didn't mention this earlier on, but each of the Olympians has special abilities right at the start of the game before you even unlock these enhancement tiles. But the enhancement tiles are unique. So these are Apollo's enhancement tiles, which again will go in there. We've got the player aid for Apollo with what Apollo does, and then we've got all of the usual stuff for Apollo. So we've got the counters, the location counters, some other counters. We've got the standees, and we have some extra technology tiles as well. We got the game tray. I don't know whether it goes up to 5 players, but you want to put everything for the player in here so that you can just get it out. Yeah, do the enhancement tiles fit in here? Yeah, so the enhancement tiles will fit in there and there. Other stuff will fit in there. I don't know what goes in there. Cards go in there. Does the miniature go in there? No, I don't know where the miniature goes. Maybe the miniature doesn't go in the tray. Anyway, that is Apollo. So that's that character done. Let's move that down there. Next one. Let's go with the next biggest box. So this the mini goes in the Love and Hate expansion. Right, so this is the Love and Hate expansion. Again, another big box, and I think you need to keep this box. I don't think all of the content that we've seen so far, I don't think this will fit in with all of the other content that we've seen so far. So this is, I remember writing this, I remember working on these back covers. 2 new characters claim the throne of Olympus are coming to the Hybris universe. So we've got Ares and Aphrodite. Now there must be more in here. I think that, yeah, there is space. So you can store the extra Olympians in this box. Right, this is why this box is big, because it's designed that the other Olympians will fit in here. So again, 2 new player boards. And the artwork on these player boards is gorgeous. Again, I know it's subjective, but I really like it. I think it's I think it looks fantastic. Let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see it all. There you go. So this is Aphrodite's player board. And then Ares, red for death. He doesn't like people. So yeah, two player boards. Right, what else have we got? We got some miniatures, presumably. Oh, look at that. It's huge. Wow, that's heavy. That is going to look mightily impressive. So that is almost the size of my hand. Yeah. Check out the detail on that shield. Yeah, so that's Ares. And then, oh, look at this, Aphrodite, so cute. But yeah, Aphrodite, huge amount of detail on this miniature as well. Let's just zoom in a bit on that one. Nice. Okay, so 2 new miniatures. And as we were saying, the Apollo miniature will fit in there like that. And the space here, maybe this is for another miniature. So what have we got in here? I won't go into too much detail with this because it's pretty much what we've already seen for the other characters. We have 2 game trays. We have all of the components. We have pink for Aphrodite and red for Ares. We've got the standees that they're going to need. We've got all the location counters, and we have the enhancement tiles. So there you go. 2 extra characters that work in a very different way. I remember doing the rules for these and thinking, yeah, they work in a different way to others. You've also got, obviously, the cards. So you've got unique combat cards. And in fact, let's just show these quickly, because I remember writing the Aphrodite rules. And one of the things with Aphrodite is that her cards work in a very different way, in that some of them have got minus values on. I can't quite remember the details, but I do remember that these work in a different way to the other ones. And then we've got Ares, who's all about hate and fighting and angry and stuff like that. So anyway, that's those 2 characters. So no new rules, I don't think. Well, maybe there is a couple of new rules, but it's generally expansion characters for the existing game. Next, let's look at Divine Betrayal. And we're now getting to the point, if you thought I didn't know very much about it so far, I know less about this going on. Damien will probably put a short summary in the chat of what Divine Betrayal is, or I could just read the back of the box. Ah, yes, it's coming back to me now. From his prison, Kronos, primordial god and father of all things, plots his revenge. Reaching back through the flow of time, he seeks to prevent the Olympians from taking control of the mortal world, aided by 3 avatars of his creation. At the same time, 5 dangerous prisoners have broken out of their supposedly inescapable prison in Tartarus and pose an immediate threat to the ancient world. It is said that the new pretender to the throne of Olympus, Hermes, messenger of the gods, could be behind it all. So, yeah. So there's a Kronos module, which allows you to play a whole new game where you work cooperatively to defeat Kronos. It looks like this is a modular expansion with a lot of extra stuff. Yeah, so the co-op and solo mode. Yeah, 4 different modules in this. And I think you can use any or all of them. Again, artwork, gorgeous. Really, really nice. So, Divine Betrayal rulebook. I can't remember if this is the one that I worked on or not. I think I worked on this one. I think it's Cataclysm that I didn't work on. But I think I worked on this one. I'll know when I start reading it. As I start reading a rulebook, it's quite obvious that it's one that I've written. Yeah, I think I did this one. Now, if you are interested in getting this game, I would strongly recommend the base game to start with. The base game is there's quite a lot going on. It's not a light game by any means. I don't remember it being super heavy, but I remember it being sort of medium to heavy from working on the rulebook. But you definitely don't want to jump in and start using all of this stuff to start with. You want to only start going to this, I think, once you're experienced with the game. Let's have a look at what you get. First of all, we get another character. We get Hermes. So this is the Hermes character with his winged shoes. And he's arrogant. Hermes is arrogant. So yeah, we've got Hermes. And we've got all of the stuff that goes with Hermes. So we've got his enhancement tiles. We've got his tokens. We've got his other things. We looked like we've actually got 2. Oh yeah, this is for the cooperative mode. And what else have we got? We got the miniature, more game tray stuff. So we got the miniature for Hermes. That'd be interesting to paint with that. Yep, there you go. So there's a miniature for Hermes, which goes in there. And we've got all of the cards for Hermes as well. So yeah, Hermes has got his own combat cards, but all of these other cards, these are for this other mode of play. So yeah, there's a lot of content in this box. They're for Hermes, they're for Hermes. That's for Hermes. So let's have a look at the other stuff that you get in this box, because there is this. So this is the prison module. So if you're playing with the prison module, which is module number 3, Tartarus, that's it. So we have the Tartarus board, which goes, as you can probably tell, in the bottom left of the main board. And there's going to be some prisoners on here, and you can go here and you can either release the prisoners or you can make a deal, and there's all sorts of stuff you can do here. So that is that module. But the big part of this expansion is the Kronos module, which is, yeah. So somebody said in the chat earlier on, you need another table for the expansion. And I think you do, because I don't know how I'm going to play 4-player cooperative with all this stuff on the board and also this. So this is another epic dual layer board, and on it you will put 4 piles of cards. So these are the Kronos cards, I think. And then basically there's 4 different types. and every single one is unique. And I think this is the point where me and Damien almost went insane for working on this game, because yeah, all of these cards are unique, and there's a huge amount of them, and there's loads of different powers and everything else. It's just a ginormous amount of cards. But I think what happens is, I think all of those cards get shuffled and placed on there, and all of those cards will get shuffled and placed on there. And I think you reveal the top one of each. But yeah, the Chronos mode is definitely quite complex. There's definitely a lot going on there. And I can't remember what these cards are for. But yeah, loads and loads of extra content with this one. What have we got here? Yeah, artwork on them is really nice. But these are Hermes' pieces. We've got some extra technologies. We've got the link tokens for the Chronos board. Yeah, right, okay. So let's move that over there. I think we've only got one box left, which is Cataclysm. So I know even less about Cataclysm. Oh. Fight to stop the end of the world. Chaos, the greatest threat ever known, has awakened and is advancing inexorably towards the mortal world, destroying everything in its path. To defend the kingdom, the Olympians have no choice but to venture into the outer limits. That was a good TV show. With armour capable of repelling chaos, they must explore ancient relics in search of answers to prevent the premature end of the ancient world. Fortunately, they can count on a new ally, Artemis, goddess of the hunt and pretender to the throne of Olympus. So this looks like, again, more modules. So Artemis is another player character. Then we've got venture to uncover the mysteries, Berlin info, upgrade your mark. So, oh yeah. Is this the one? Because some people have compared this to Anachrony. And I couldn't understand why they were comparing it to Anachrony. But in this one, you've got a mark suit. I can't quite remember this. Yeah, this is the one that I didn't work on so much from memory. But first thing is, we have another character. So let's have a look at this other character. I need to zoom out a bit. So this is Artemis. Again, I know I keep mentioning it, but that artwork is just beautiful. So there's Artemis, and Artemis's miniature actually goes in here. Oh, wow. So this is quite delicate. Yeah, you're going to need to be very careful with this miniature. Yeah, I would be nervous about making a miniature like this, just because look at that. Yeah, do not drop this. That is very, very fine detail and very, yeah, you're going to have to be very careful with this. So, yeah, okay. So let's put that very carefully back in there and not break it. So that's Artemis. Artemis has her own cards, her own colours, her own enhancement tiles, her own game tray. So Artemis, a colour is orange, and that's the stuff for the character. But then we have another board. So another board just to make the board bigger. So that's a board. That's the so module 1 is Artemis. So this is the Cataclysm module. And this is another part of the board. This is the outer limits board, which goes down in the bottom right of the board. And you can send workers from your hangar to the camp. And each player has one of these mark suits. So, yeah, I don't know much about this, but everybody has one of these, which goes next to their player board, presumably. And you can put things in it, which is these. Ah, right. Okay, so we've got these. These are upgrades. Upgrades to your mark suit. You can give it night vision. You can give it a laser marker, and there's spaces in these. These are dual layered. So yeah, you can put things in there. Yeah, so I don't know much about this module at all. Yeah, I don't. This is definitely not going to fit on the table with all of this stuff. Yeah, how to play. So there's a whole other rule book with all of this extra stuff. And I go back to what I was saying earlier on. This game, once you get into this part of the game, this is for the people who've played it quite a few times and want something else. You definitely don't want to be playing this at the start. Is it just the 2 modules then? I think it is just the 2 modules. So it's Artemis as the first module and then Cataclysm as the second module. But the Cataclysm module has the extra board, the mark suits, exploration card. So it looks like you go out and you explore and you do adventures. Yeah, that sounds a little bit like one of the expansions from Anachrony, where you went out into the wild and did adventures and stuff. That's probably what these cards are for. Let's have a look. Yeah, so these look like right, let's switch to this camera. Probably see them a bit better on this camera. Yeah, so this looks like things that you can do when you go out and you do adventures. I wonder if you draw up in the pile. Yeah, you probably draw up in the pile. This is what each player has. So this is Zeus's particular mark suit and how Zeus can upgrade it. So there's one of these for everybody: Poseidon, Athena, Hades, Hermes, Aphrodite, Ares, Artemis, and Apollo. And they're all of the different characters in the game. Well, yeah, this is a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to spend the evening in front of TV putting all of this away where it should go. So I think the base game, I think you need all of the boxes apart from that white one. The white one that was just plain white, I don't think you need that. But I think you need all of the other boxes because they are pretty full, even when you've unboxed everything and put it in. If you want to know more about the game, definitely check it out on Board Game Geek. I know there has been, John Gets Games did a tutorial and playthrough video 3 years ago, but that was with the prototype and things have changed since then. So if you can wait till Friday. So on Friday, this Friday, I will be doing a playthrough video for it. It's not a sponsored playthrough, so apologies in advance that I don't expect one of my really good tutorials, because for the sponsored ones I normally take like a day and a half to prepare. This one's not sponsored. I will have a read through the rules beforehand so that I'm not completely in the dark, but it will be 4 people playing it for the first time, so it will be a little bit rough, but I'm looking forward to it. We might have to start earlier because it might end up being a bit of a long game, but I'll see how we get on. So anyway, just before I disappear, big thank you to Damon for obviously getting me a copy of the game. Thank you very much for that. Also a big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. This video is not sponsored. All of my advertising revenue goes to charity. So I've basically taken a couple of hours off work today in order to bring you this unboxing. And the only reason I'm able to do that is thanks to the support of the Patreon campaign. Same with the playthrough on Friday. I'm taking pretty much most of Friday off work in order to set this game up, learn it, practice it, and then do the video in the evening. And that's not sponsored in any way. So yeah, a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters that help fund the channel and help me carry on making more videos. And if you like the content that I create and you want to support me, you can do so at patreon.com/gaming rules. But we're all done. Time to go to the gym, then get back, then have pancakes, and then put this away. So until next time, take care, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.